Hello everybody, welcome to Book Silo. So I opened this channel to make reviews of books that I consider interesting, and we're going to start with this one. Click Here to Kill Everybody by Bruce Schneier. This book is about the current, well, the current is very broad, but the situation in our world of how the growing number of connected devices to the internet is really making things less and less secure in our world. So I'm going to start with the introduction, and we're going to go chapter by chapter. So the introduction is everything is becoming a computer. And there are some incidents to take into consideration. The first one is that in 2015, two security researchers took control of a Jeep Cherokee from 10 miles away using the vehicle Internet Connector Entertainment System. So the two researchers, like you can read here, took control of a Jeep Cherokee. So while the driver was on the highway, they were able to, out of nowhere, they were able to change the radio station. They were able to unlock and unlock doors. They were able to change the heat or the air conditioner. So they were able to do everything from afar. And the way they did it is using the diagnostic port. So hackers have shown vulnerabilities in several automobile models using the diagnostic port. So if you don't know what the diagnostic port is, it looks like this. I cannot say it is in 100% of the cars, but I know it's in at least 90% of the cars. In my case, I have this port is under my steering wheel, and on other models it's on the passenger side next to the door normally. And that's the way they did it. They also could have used the brakes or stop the engine, which they eventually did, or steer the wheel violently, and that would have caused an accident. However, these were, as you can read here, they were researchers, so they were just testing the capabilities of what they can do. And airplanes are also vulnerable. For many years, airplanes builders were saying that there is no way you can hack an airplane. But in 2017, the US Department of Homeland Security demonstrated a remote hack of a Boeing 757 was possible using, again, the entertainment system. Nowadays, airplanes give you the option to watch movies while you are traveling. So that's a vulnerability, because that piece of software that is there, that hardware and software, even though it's working well and it has its purpose, it's not patched very often. So going back to the example, the details were not provided. Of course, they don't want to give anybody any idea. However, I'm sure they shared the findings with the Boeing team, or the Boeing company. Then in 2016, hackers remotely detonated crash override at the, I'm not sure how to read exactly this one, Pivnitcha voltage power substation near Kiev in Ukraine. And the cyber attack was different from the one at Prikarpati Oblenergo control center, which is also an electric power distribution company. So the way these guys, these hackers, did this, it was using a piece of software, a backdoor, okay, a malware. So this attack caused a blackout, and the only way they could have restored the electricity for the people who use this in the area was to actually reset in other words, pull the lever. So they reset everything, and they turn it off, turn it on again, and everything was working. So, but you can tell how powerful this was. Imagine that if you could do the same for a large city, or for, I don't know, gas pipes. That would be catastrophic. So, crash override was a military weapon to test capabilities. So imagine how governments have the ability and the resources and the people to pull this kind of attacks or create this kind of weapons, cyber weapons. And number 3, over the weekend of 2017, around 150,000 printers around the world were hacked. And the way the person, well, the group that did this, or perhaps only one person, is they wrote a code that was able, once in the network, it would look for printers and check their vulnerabilities. So let's say ports that may be open, some flaws in the code that they have, or something like that. So they were able to hack on all those printers around the world. And for example, they would print ASCII code or taunting messages. And early that same year, printers at several US universities printed anti-Semitic flyers. So that's the kind of things that you can do with cyber attacks. And this doesn't mean that 3D printers won't be attacked in the future. As of today, they have not been attacked yet, but I'm sure they will be. If regular printers can be attacked, 3D will be. But imagine if these attackers would do it with bioprinters. Bioprinters are in their infancy, but what they promise to do in the future, they will be able to literally print bones. So if somebody has lost an arm or a leg in some accident, they will pretty much be able to recover those body parts. Now imagine that you hack one of these, or somebody hacks one of these, when these bioprinters are located in every or most of the hospitals. And the doctors are printing a new heart or a new piece of tissue. And could the hackers actually be able to print a defective heart or print a virus? Could they do that? Well, we don't really know. Why are these scenarios possible? The thing is that in 1998, a car was not vulnerable from afar, neither was a power station. And that's because they were mostly mechanical devices. And nowadays, everything in one way or another is a computer. In the past, you would build a car, which was mechanical, and you would add perhaps a small computer to it, so you can have a more beautiful tuning station device, so it wouldn't look so analog. And nowadays, you add mechanical parts to computers. So a car is technically a computer on wheels. You might press the brakes thinking that it's going to connect via some mechanical device to the wheels, but that's not actually true. This is only what it happens is that once you press the brake or the accelerator, it's going to send an electrical signal to the wheels, to the circuit on the wheels. So it gives you the impression that you're actually mechanically stopping or accelerating, but it's not the case anymore. So a car used to be a mechanical device, and a power station used to use levers and switches to be managed. Now, in 2007, the world changed. Our phones became powerful computers when Steve Jobs or Apple introduced the iPhone. So the iPhone opened a new generation of technology. For the first time ever, you were able to to browse the internet from your fingertips. You have GPS, you had maps. Well, you still have them, but in those times were unheard of. And you can do pretty much everything from your cell phone. You can turn on, turn off the lights at home. You can connect to your email. You connect to the cloud. You can do pretty much anything from your phone. So from that moment on, these things have been growing and growing. And smartphones, tablets, and all that are really good at collecting data that they use and communicate data to operate. So they gather the data from your cell phone. They can collect how many apps to use, how much time you're using these apps, what you're looking for, what apps are the most popular, which apps you don't use at all, how many clicks you give a day or how many you don't. And now your TV is smart now. They can monitor how many hours you watch TV, what TV shows you're watching, what service are you watching. Netflix 20 hours a day? Are you watching sports? What are you doing? They can monitor that, and with that information, these companies can tailor better devices, better TV shows for you or for a number of people. Now your micro oven has a chip on it. If you don't know, a few months ago, Amazon launched its microwave that you can control using Alexa. A collar for your dog now has a chip on it that can be tracked using GPS and send it to your cell phone. So if your dog is out of range, it's going to send you an alert or something like that. A motorcycle helmet has a sensor for you. So if you have any accident, it's going to call automatically to the nearest police station or emergency so they can help you out. And your plant must even use, well, not technically your plants, but your plants can be monitored using sensors, so they can tell you the level of moisture that they have. So they send you an alert to your cell phone saying, hey, you might want to water your plants nowadays. So we are at the beginning of smart homes with virtual assistants such as Alexa, Google Home, Siri, Cortana, and many others that might come. So you can control most of your devices at home, like your thermostat, your cameras, your doorbell, as mentioned, your microwave, and many other things that are not here yet, but you will be able to integrate them with your virtual assistants. And all these connected devices, we give them a name, IoT, or Internet of Things. But this is not in the book, what I'm going to mention, which is Cisco actually gives another name for this, which is the Internet of Everything, since everything in the future is going to, well, or is expected to be connected in one way or another to the Internet. In 2017, there were 8.4 billion things attached to the Internet. By 2020, it's expected to be around 20 to 75 billion. So as you see, the number is increasing exponentially. And perhaps it's a good thing that nowadays we have IPv6, so we have more IP addresses than we have grains of sand on Earth. If you know these two devices, you're like me, you're a hobbyist. These are the Arduino and the Raspberry Pi, which when they came out a few years ago, they brought yet another level of connectivity, because these devices are very affordable, and they even have their $5 version, which they do is they allow you, hobbyists, to create, or engineers to model new devices. They have a basic operating system, basic electronics, and you can build on top of them. You can create sensors that you buy with a little of code, sometimes Python, sometimes C. And you can create sensors, you can create tasks that are going to be run depending on your needs. So these devices are also able to connect to your network either using Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, or RJ45 port. So you can create anything that your imagination can make. And if you add the power of the cloud, like Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud, or some others out there, you have infinite or virtually infinite processing power. And if on top of that you add machine learning or artificial intelligence, there are really no limits of what can you create. And this opens another door, that you have more devices like this, and you create your sensor that's going to tell you, hey, somebody's in the room, and it might send you to your cell phone. However, after you create the application, you're not going to create patches for it. So you're not going to be concerned of security, perhaps, so that if somebody gets to your network, it can make they can ping every device that is in your network. They might find these devices, and they are going to see that they are vulnerable. They don't have any security, any firewall. So this is an open door for hackers to check most or many things on your network. So for the purpose of this book, they are going to call the term Internet Plus is going to be used. Internet Plus is talking about the devices that are connected to the Internet of Things, or the Internet of everything. So whenever you see in future chapters this term Internet Plus, is going to be talking about the connectivity, the total connectivity of our devices nowadays. And now your cell phone, as we mentioned before, they are called smartphones, but they are not really smart. They are actually stupid, and they are going to remain that way for many, many years to come, because we call them smart since we can do many things on them. You don't, I'm not going to say no longer, but you don't need a physical computer much. So you can do many things from your cell phone nowadays. However, they are becoming better and better to gather data. So, and that's because of the information they are sending to the cloud. So with the power of the cloud and machine learning, the Internet Plus is allowing these devices to become better and better. But since they become better and better, they also become less secure, since most devices are connected, like I mentioned a few minutes ago, without any security. So you create the software, you tune your little Arduino device, you are it's sending information to your network, but it's not patched, it's not secure, it doesn't have firewall. So that's why it's becoming less and less secure. And this book tells the story of why that's true. And we're going to be seeing in next chapters the different implication of this. So that would be for the introduction of this book, guys. I really appreciate you watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for future videos. If you like this video, please leave a like. If you have any question or comment, leave it in the comment section below. Thank you very much again, and I'll see you in the next one.